I went camping alone last winter with my dog, Roscoe, thinking it would help clear my head. I wanted silence, distance, and to be completely away from people. I drove deep into a state forest on a narrow road covered in snow and ice. There were no other cars, no signs of life. The deeper I went, the quieter everything became. It felt like the world was slowly closing behind me, cutting me off from everything familiar.
After nearly an hour, I parked at an old pull-off that looked forgotten. I hiked another 20 minutes until I reached a small clearing. The snow was untouched, smooth and perfect. No footprints, no broken branches, nothing. That isolation felt peaceful at first. I set up my tent, secured it tightly, and layered up for the freezing night ahead. Roscoe stayed close, sniffing the air, alert in a way I didn't fully notice yet. As night fell, I built a fire and cooked dinner. The woods were completely silent, the kind of silence that feels heavy. Snow absorbed sound, making everything feel muted and unnatural. Roscoe lay near the fire, calm at first. Then suddenly, he stood up and started barking into the darkness. I assumed it was deer. I told myself I was safe. I told myself I was alone. About 20 minutes later, Roscoe barked again, louder this time. Then I heard it. Footsteps crunching through snow, slow, careful. They stopped when I stood up, then started again. Roscoe stopped barking and stared ahead, completely still. That's when I noticed a shape at the edge of the trees, barely visible in the firelight. Someone was standing there, watching me. I called out, trying to sound calm, saying he scared me. The man stepped forward just enough for me to see his face. He asked why I was out there so deep in the woods. His voice didn't feel friendly. I told him I was camping with my dog. He just stood there, staring. Something felt wrong. I warned him that I was armed. He laughed softly and said something about hospitality before turning and walking back into the darkness. I stood frozen long after he left. Eventually, I put out the fire and crawled into my tent, sealing it tight. I didn't want light drawing attention. Inside, I stayed fully dressed, trying to stay warm. Roscoe curled beside me. The silence returned, heavier than before. It felt like the woods were holding their breath. Then Roscoe started growling. I heard footsteps again, slower now. They came closer until they stopped right outside my tent. Whoever it was just stood there. I could hear them shifting their weight in the snow. I held my gun but didn't want to use it. Time felt stretched, broken. Every second felt dangerous. I finally warned them to leave. There was silence. Then footsteps slowly moved away, fading into the forest. I didn't move. I didn't sleep. Roscoe stayed alert the entire night. Without him, I don't think I would have survived that fear alone. When the sky finally started to lighten, I packed everything as fast as I could. No breakfast, no hesitation, I just left. The woods looked peaceful again, like nothing had happened. That somehow made it worse. I never went back to that forest. Some people don't chase, they wait. And sometimes the most dangerous thing isn't being alone. It's realizing you never truly were. July 4th weekend, 2025. I drove from Florida to Charleston to visit a close friend I hadn't seen in years. The city felt alive. Crowded streets, music, laughter, tourists everywhere. It was the kind of place where you blend in without trying. That's why the man caught my attention immediately. He stood out in a way I couldn't explain yet, like a wrong note in a familiar song. He wore a wedding suit, clean, pressed, spotless, like he had just stepped out of a ceremony. His shoes shined, his bow tie was perfect, but the way he moved didn't match the world around him. His steps were slow, almost dragging, while everyone else walked normally. He didn't look drunk, he didn't look homeless, he looked empty,
like he wasn't fully present. Something deep in my gut told me to avoid him. It wasn't fear exactly, more like instinct, the kind you don't question. I grabbed my friend's arm and told him we weren't crossing the street. We changed direction and walked away faster than we needed to. I didn't want to see the man up close. I didn't want him to notice us. A few streets later, in a completely different part of the city, we saw him again. Same suit, same slow walk, same distant stare. There was no logical way he could have gotten there without passing us. The city layout didn't allow it. That's when confusion turned into unease. Something wasn't adding up. We didn't say much after that. We kept walking, trying to enjoy the city, pretending nothing was wrong. But every few minutes, I felt the urge to look over my shoulder. He never appeared again that day. Still, the feeling stayed, like being watched without proof. The next night, July 5th, the city was packed. Restaurants overflowed, people filled the sidewalks, and music spilled into the streets. Then suddenly, there he was again, right in the middle of the crowd, walking slowly while everyone else rushed past him. People brushed against him, yet no one reacted, like he wasn't really there. He glanced at us for just a second, not curious, not confused, intentional, like he knew exactly who we were. Then he continued forward, untouched by the crowd, slipping into a darker side street where the lights faded. Later that night, I slept downstairs on a couch near a window. Sometime in the night, I woke up to a soft tapping sound. When I looked out the window toward the alley, I saw a man walking away. It was him. Right before he disappeared, he turned his head back toward the window. The next morning, we talked about everything. Even my friend, logical, grounded, skeptical, admitted something felt deeply wrong. We couldn't explain it, but we both knew we experienced the same thing, and that made it harder to ignore. Some things feel real and unreal at the same time. The man in the suit felt like that. And even now, long after leaving Charleston, the memory still follows me, like he never really stopped walking. I live alone in a small house, and my life used to feel boring in the best way. Same routine every day, same quiet nights. That's why it took me so long to realize something was wrong. When life feels predictable, you stop questioning things. It started with small noises late at night, soft thumps, faint sounds I explained away as the house settling. Then I noticed my phone wasn't charging, even though I remembered plugging it in. I told myself I must have knocked it loose in my sleep. Then I saw muddy footprints near my back door. They weren't clear. They looked smeared, like someone tried to hide them. My heart dropped. I stood there staring at them, trying to make sense of something I didn't want to accept. I changed the locks that same day. That night, I woke up to light tapping on my bedroom door. Not knocking, just fingertips testing it. I lay there frozen, afraid to breathe. In the morning, the back door was unlocked from the inside. That's when denial ended. Someone had been inside my home while I slept, and they knew exactly how my house worked. That night, I stayed awake with the lights on. Around 2 a.m., I noticed the basement door was cracked open. When I looked down the stairs, I saw the outline of someone standing there in the dark. I slammed the door and ran to my car, calling the police in a panic. When they arrived and searched the house, they found him hiding in the basement. He had been living there, sleeping on insulation, using my power, watching my schedule. The idea that someone knew my routine better than I did still makes my skin crawl. Days later, I found a photo on my phone. It was me asleep in my bed, taken in the middle of the night. That was the moment fear truly set in. Some fear doesn't disappear when the danger is gone. It stays with you, quiet, patient, waiting. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe my channel. See you on next videos. Till then, goodbye.